All right, here we are with Chapter 3, Section 1, Genetics, the Science of Heredity. And the first section that you're responsible for is called Mendel's work. Now, we've already done a little pre-reading, so I'm just going to get right into the reading. The year was 1851. Gregor Mendel, a young priest from a monastery in Central Europe, entered the University of Vienna to study mathematics and science. 2 years later, Mendel returned to the monastery and began teaching at a nearby high school. Mendel also cared for the monastery's garden, where he grew hundreds of pea plants. He became curious about why some of the plants had different physical characteristics or traits. Some pea plants grew tall while others were short. Some plants produced green seeds while others had yellow seeds. Mendel observed that the pea plants' traits were often similar to those of their parents. Sometimes, however, the pea plants had different traits than their parents. The passing of traits from parents to offspring is called heredity. For more than 10 years, Mendel experimented with thousands of pea plants to understand the process of heredity. Mendel's work formed the foundation of genetics, the scientific study of heredity. So think about this man, Gregor Mendel. So you want to record some information. 1851 is when he did his work. He was a young priest in Central Europe. I went to the University of Vienna, studied mathematics and science. So he didn't study to be a priest at all. But then he did return and began to study in high school. His greatest interest, though, was caring for the monastery's garden, where you learned he grew pea plants. And he learned some things about pea plants, their physical characteristics or traits. In other words, what it looked like, what the plants looked like. He also studied how these traits from the offspring, the young pea plants, were similar to their parents. And the passing of traits from parents to offspring is called heredity. So when the offspring get characteristics of their parents, that's called heredity. And the scientific study of that. So what Mendel did with all his experimenting and learning about heredity, that's called genetics. So it's studying it scientifically.